Welcome to one of my favorite spots. So spirituality is the most simple thing ever. If anybody tries to complicate it or anything I say sounds complicated, just don't listen to me. It really is just letting go. So everybody else, most people, including myself in my younger days, it was all about getting and gaining. But as I get older and you realize that stuff doesn't work, it doesn't add happiness, it doesn't end in lasting joy, you just start to see the flaw more and more and more of getting and gaining and wanting on the outside and how it doesn't work. So then you flip it around and you start releasing and letting go, and that is where the freedom comes from. And you do this a couple times, you'll notice. Say you forgive someone, or you get bothered by something and you start to view it from the point of why are you bothered versus I wish that thing would change. It's so very easy, but I don't know why it took so long to see it. So you just start on that path of releasing and letting go and noticing where you contract and where you feel uptight and where you get bothered. And instead of lashing out, getting angry, looking outside, wanting everything or everyone else to change, you just look inside and notice that there's something in you that is not letting people or experiences be what they are. So that is the blockage. There is really no such thing as awakening. What happens is you remove all your blockages and it feels like something woke up, and it can be intense and it can be in a moment, or it can be a slow, steady progression, or both. But what happens is you get out of the way, and what's left is the joy and peace and love that you were looking for all along, but you're not looking for it now because you realize it was here the whole time. So really, the most simple spiritual practice or teaching is just let go. And it's the individual self and the person that is grasping and that is thinking things should be a different way, also known as the ego. And that's really all there is to it. I don't really need to make another video after this, but I probably will, just for fun. But really, we get so bothered and we think there's a way and there's a certain thing to find, and every thought and feeling that you have that is either resisting something, pushing something away, or holding on to something or wanting something. It's one of the two. It's one of those two directions. You never get what you want, because if you get what you want, you just want more. And you never resist something to the point that you feel satisfied, because where does it go if it doesn't release or go through you? It gets stuck inside of you, and it will come up later. Probably in inappropriate times, probably in a worse way, or you'll mask it with addictions or friends or Netflix or just something stupid. So nice out here. So what you do instead of trying to change everyone or everything is you notice when you are pushing and pulling. Now, speaking from a place of experience, when the pushing and pulling disappears, everything you've ever wanted is here in the present moment. But what didn't make sense to me for the longest time is people would say, oh, everything is here, everything is now, and I would think that doesn't make sense because my current moment feels like crap. So I thought they found something, I thought they gained something, and I wanted what they had, not realizing they gave up everything to realize what they had. They didn't gain it, they realized it. And it's realized by noticing where you are pushing and pulling and releasing it. So notice what bothers you. Release it. Or hold on to it and just suffer. Those are your two options. But boy, it's nice to release it. when I'm done making this video, I'm going to sit here and stare off into the distance, into these trees for no reason. But my experience has become quiet. And now I can enjoy silence with no thoughts, no pushing and pulling. And it's just beautiful to sit and be. When before, everything in me was just screaming to do something or gain something or just always needed or wanted. So you don't have to get rid of your wants or try to, go be a monk in a monastery somewhere and seclude yourself. Just live your everyday life, and every moment life will give you opportunities. Notice when you're bothered. Notice when you want something, when you feel envious, when you are seduced into thinking that something's going to make you happy. It happens all the time. And for me, it still happens. I just don't care and I ignore it. It's not like the ego disappeared. It's that I just pay no attention to it now because it ran its course. I played the game long enough to know that it doesn't go anywhere. And when I started releasing my wants and my fears and my desires and my resistance, that's when everything in my life changed. It doesn't really matter what it costs and what it takes. If you really want freedom and joy and peace, you'll do anything to get it. So if it's uncomfortable, you just be uncomfortable for a while. If there's moments of comfort, you enjoy the moments of comfort. Eventually everything balances out, but at first there might be some trials and some ups and downs. It's the season. The deer are going nuts. All right, I'm gonna walk and talk. My butt's too flat for that hard bench. Okay, so practical example of wanting. Let's say you want $1 million and you think, that's it. Once I get $1 million, I will be satisfied. So you drive yourself to, work hard, do all the things you need to do to gain $1 million. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with this. I'm just saying it's not satisfying. So when you get to the goal and you get there and you think it's going to give you this feeling that you have been looking for, and it doesn't, then you feel really good for a little bit, but you end up kind of disappointed and you think, well, maybe it was $2 million. Maybe it's 3. And so you just keep going. And that path can be, that can be endless. You could do that forever and never actually feel satisfied. So then you realize, well, that's not working. So let's turn to spirituality. So you come into spirituality with the same attitude. And then you think, well, people have gained this stuff, this peace. They have awakened, they have enlightened. So that's probably what I need. I need enlightenment. So now you start chasing enlightenment, thinking that when you get there, you're going to be satisfied. See the problem here? You've taken the same attitude. You've taken the same attitude from your worldly life and gaining possessions, thinking that's going to make you happy, into your spiritual life. And now you think gaining something spiritual is going to make you happy. This is all the ego. This is all ego stuff. It doesn't. There is no external gain that is going to make you happy. And even if you kind of turn it internal into something spiritual, it's the same, you're doing the same thing. So the way to stop doing this is to look at the mechanism of want itself. Look at the actual mechanism and ask yourself, well, who is wanting? Why am I wanting? Why do I think that gaining something is going to bring me some kind of happiness or joy? Now, when you're able to see through it and see clearly, you realize, oh, this is just a trick. It's just a trick my thoughts and my mind are playing on me. There's actually nothing there. It's not going to do anything. Look at this view. It's like really cool. Wait, here, there it is. Just a big open area of awesomeness. So anyway, when you finally give that up, when you see that you've been doing the same thing in different ways, well, you kind of get disgusted with yourself, because I went through this process, I know. And then you give up. You get so exhausted. You just think, wow, none of this worked, so I'm just going to give that up. So you give up the whole worldly quest, and then you give up the spiritual quest. And now you're on to something. You are starting to see through the mechanism of want. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's wanting to save all the children in Africa, wanting to gain a nice sports car to impress a girl, or wanting to be enlightened, they're all coming from the same source. And they're all equally deeply unsatisfying at the fundamental level. Some seem noble, so we get tricked by them. We go from selfish to unselfish desires, but they're still desires. So just let go of the desires. Oh, it's so nice. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I'll tell you what I did. As I started letting go of the desires, I started noticing I felt lighter. I felt more free. I felt better. And then I started seeing what the desires were attached to. These unfelt emotions from childhood that left me with, this feeling of unmet needs, and thinking that I needed to fill them as an adult with other people and other things, and you start to see through all that stuff. And you just let life show you all of your attachments. And instead of trying to fill or fix or change them or go around them, you just embrace them for what they are. If you feel bored or needy, just feel it. Just sit there and feel it, and then release it. Let it go and realize that's not going to be fixing that problem, or filling that need with something is not going to be the thing that ends in peace. So that's pretty much it. It's pretty much all I've done for the last 3 years, is noticed where I had attachments and where I was trying to fill a need, and saw the emotion behind it and the thoughts behind the emotion, what it was all tied to, and then just let it go. And it's not as easy as it sounds. Sometimes it hurts, it's uncomfortable, you cry. Some attachments are really strong, some are not so strong. But when you finally go inward instead of outward to fill, and you go inward to release, it's very nice. And that's the spiritual path. That's the journey. You find out what is true in you, not external, not outside of you. And you don't have to have any kind of insight or revelation or enlightenment or any of that stuff. Dropping all those concepts is really the key. Anyway, I'm going to stop there. My hand's cold. Thanks for watching, everybody.